top 4 talismans you can grab extremely early in the DLC that are just too good to miss. Number 1, the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman gradually restores FP. This one is amazing if you want to clear huge areas like the Shadow Keep and you don't want to run out of FP ever. It's only a minimal amount, but after using an ability here right now, you can visibly see my FP ticking back up to roughly 1 FP every 3 seconds. And if you're going to be spending 10-20 minutes inside a dungeon somewhere, you're slowly taking back your abilities, and it's going to equate to like 3, 4, 5 bonus cerulean tier flasks. And hell, worst case scenario, you'll just quickly read a WhatsApp message or check something on Twitter, and you get your full FP back again without having to return to the site of grace. The talisman can be found at the Church of Benediction, bottom left, and in order to get there, we'll begin at the main gate cross. You get there by going from the 3-path cross to the underpath, teleport. You're going to turn away from the main gate, and behind you, you see a path leading, well, through the mountains, through these caves. And that's where we're heading to. That's not only going to lead us to the Church of Benediction and the Blue Dew Talisman. Nah, there's actually another talisman there. It is not as good as, but it is still a decent one to have. And it's called the Outer God Heirloom and works really good for arcane builds because it essentially gives you +5 arcane. Now we're going to be running up to this town, and that's where you get the next site of grace. This would be essentially the Cliff Road terminus. Now, if you also want the Outer God Heirloom for the +5 arcane in case you want to try out a certain arcane build, you just have to go all the way up to that church tower there. There's a bunch of Bloodfiends to go through, but it's really easy. The beginning from Prospect Town is essentially on this tarp. Make your way up through everything. Then weasel around on this side. And you're already all the way up to Prospect Town. Can kill these guys. I did actually get their blood weapon from them, which is a really good hammer. And boom, there in this chest is the Outer God Heirloom. But that would be just as a little bonus as we're already passing by. Not what we're actually here for. No, we're going to be leaving Prospect Town again. So essentially, reset to the Cliff Road terminus, mark the Church of Benediction, and then head just straight up to number 3 in my case. And it's quite the simple road. There is not much noteworthy otherwise here. So mostly just went completely through. There is a dude he's going to be trying to kill you right before the Church of Benediction. But I won't spoiler that one to leave you a little bit of a surprise. And you're essentially just going really down the road past the ginormous sheep. Jump up the rocks. Past the graves. And you can look down. Wibbity wobbity, Church of Benediction. Now, obviously, you would simply die going down there, which we don't want. But if you're looking into this direction, there's our friend we're talking about, right? You can just simply horse down, land right behind him, and then go over to the church. Ba-ba-da-bum. Blessed Dew Talisman right below me. Thank you. And the fun part is, if you then actually do write down further, you're ending up where your whole journey began. To get this view moment another time. Beautiful. Second one is the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman greatly raises stamina recovery speed. And it's a straight up upgrade to the Green Turtle Talisman. It works especially well for builds that will burn through a lot of stamina. In my case, I got the Mockwin's Sacred Spear build that completely obliterates people with arcane fire damage bleeding overload. And I really need my stamina to just zip up super fast again after going through one of my combos. The Two-Headed Turtle Talisman is all the way down in this river at the end cave. Not the river mouth cave. You can discover that too. No, it's right there where my number 2 is. In order to get there, I had to find the Elec River Cave site of Grace, and that begins at Castlefront. Turn to the right from the bridge and just, well, head straight up to the right. And we're aiming for this burning guy below. So we're not following the road. Nope. We're going downwards. See the furnace golem in the distance? There is going to be that temple structure in front of you with the Bloodfiends, which we're going to ignore as well. The simple reason why we're doing it this way is because I couldn't just jump down in the river. I've actually looked for multiple spots to jump down in the river, and this ended to be the way for me to get below. Now you're going to have to ride past all of this and find a hidden cave entrance. Was quite the interesting discovery. Back there at the end should be another painting if I remember correctly. But we're going to be heading through the poison pools of these beautiful flowers. Then we're going further below, so always stick to your left. You can pretty much ignore all the opponents. Make sure to not get poisoned. There's these stupid, annoying beast claw guys, which you remember from Aelid in normal Elden Ring. You find Mr. Krabs. And Mr. Krabs and his flower friend are hiding this cave entrance on the left side, which then gets you completely through. Can pick up the dew gems if you wish so too. As you're making your way through the cave, you're going to have the site of Grace upcoming and an altar with an item on it. And after you now have the Elec River site of Grace, where you can essentially teleport to, you're heading out. You could go below. There's bonus discovery, but we're going to the right. And a little side note here. There might or might not be a dragon landing on your head. Unlucky, right? Things happen. Dragons on your head. It's okay. We're going past all the flyman to end essentially at the very end. So you really need to go all the way through. And yes, these flymans are stupid. We don't like them. Now the good thing though is that we're not only getting the talisman, there's also a complete catacomb here that you might want to discover because it holds some bonus loot as well. Now you see the waterfall, and behind the waterfall they're the long boys, and they're guarding, very simple, the turtle talisman, which has a turtle on it. That gives you the two-headed turtle talisman, and then you're just heading straight out again to the right. Past all of this. You won't believe it. There would be the Rivermouth Cave. And that cave hides a cool summon called the Bloodfiend Hexer Ashes, where you can summon one of these Bloodfiend Hexers to do bonus bleed damage. Interestingly enough, fits very well into a bleed build, as you might be playing the White Mask, which greatly raises your attack power if there is blood loss nearby, or the Lord Exaltation's Talisman, which also raises your attack power if there is blood loss in the vicinity. And he helps with that. Next up, my favorite one for spellcasters, the beloved Stardust. Shortens casting speed for sorcery and incantations by the utmost, but increases damage taken. We don't care about the damage taken. We really do care about being able to spam our spells even faster. For this one, you're riding on the right side for the Cathedral of Mana's Mature at the Cathedral site of Grace. This one can be accessed over the Bonnie Village and the Whipping Hut to just ride around. And in order to get to these two, there's an underpass in the Morth Ruins. This one can easily be found by heading from the Morth Ruins site of Grace towards this toppled building. If you jump on top of it, you can see there is a hole in the ground. Well, you would die if you just jumped down into that hole, okay? So we don't want to do that right now. From the toppled building, we're heading to the left over this kind of roady thingy. And then you can actually go down right here. and essentially just head further downwards and end up where we just looked at. Ta-da! We get these dudes to kill. We don't want to do that. We're heading further below, right? All the way. And as you go further below, we're going up this way. And with the ladder, you're essentially going to end up in the Bonnie village. And then as you're finally up there, there's a bunch of items to discover. And there is essentially one thing you 100% need, or you won't be able to get that talisman. Yeah, I'm sorry. Things are a wee bit complicated for some items. The good thing, though, is that talisman is bound to another one. So that is the Bonnie Village side of Grace. And what you want to do now is you want to head exactly here on the number 1 spawn. That number 1 spawn, and we can essentially go straight up to the left from the side of Grace, ignore everything else, is hiding an emote. That emote is called Oh Mother. Jump over the crevasse. You don't make it fall down like me. After jumping over, head towards the light. And here at this weird ass looking tree, you will find the Oh Mother emote. Now you can ride all the way to the Cathedral of Mana's Mature. Talk to the lad on the throne and he'll be giving you a quest. And that quest will have you travel all the way to the Finger Runes of Dio. In order to get there, you have to access the secret Hinterlands region. Yes, I know, what the hell, just to get that talisman? Don't worry, it will be super worth it because that region also holds the golden braid, which boosts holy damage negation by the utmost. Yes, it's the golden braid of America. That will make every fight against a holy monster easier than ever, including, well, the end boss of the actual main game. Now, in order to get there, we begin at the Storehouse Loft side of Grace that you'll inevitably discover as you go through the Shadow Keep. In the loft, we're stepping into the lift, which will get us upstairs into the rafters. Now, I do know this is quite extensive, but you will want to discover that region because it just feels absolutely amazing. And the crazy part is, in actual order to get into the region, you will need the emote that we have found, and you'll have to emote at a certain statue of America to essentially open that region. Yeah, I know. Crazy, isn't it? Now we're gonna get rid of our friend the bat there. Jump over. What you want to do is you want to take this ladder down that you're then walking up to. And you do see this door. I'll kill Batman. Or just Bat. Whoop. And we're heading outside. On the table, turning to the right, into the next lift. Yes, I know, liftception. Interesting part is, there's a boss fight too. That you don't have to do straight away, so you could just get the talisman. The boss fight, though, is against General Gaius. And General Gaius, if you kill him, well, he does have 5 Shadow Tree fragments in the area. You heard right. 5 Shadow Tree fragments. We go onto this lift. It takes us all the way down. I like to activate my lantern so I don't get claustrophobic. I still get claustrophobic. Then there's the General. He's hiding 5 Shadow Tree fragments, plus a talisman for bow builds. But that's not what we're here there for. We need to get into the Hinterlands. And the Hinterlands also have an interesting amount of Crucible Knights for you. This would be now the Shadowkeep back gate. Here is General Gaius. And if you go all the way up to the Shadow Tree Chalice, there you'll find 5 fragments. Now we're going to the right side. And there is a statue of America here. This respective statue. And that is where you have to use the Oh Mother emote. And suddenly you will be granted access to the hidden Hinterlands. What in the goddamn Christ, ladies and gentlemen? Now, you'll be having to contend with a couple of Crucible Knights, and we're beginning at the Hinterland side of Grace. You do see this rock formation in front of you. And that is what we're aiming for, because what we want to get at is the Shaman Village on the right side. It's a simple write down, nothing too complicated, right? You don't have to do even more shenanigans. Take the lower road, or you'll just have to jump down. And at that Shaman Village, you're getting the incantation to actually summon a minor Erdtree, which you'll plant down like here, and it will gradually heal you. It's actually a plenty cool spell. But as you follow through this Shaman Village, there you'll find one dead tree. Everything is alive and beautiful, right? But no, one tree up here is dead. And in that tree, there is Queen Marika's Braid. Which is interesting, because why would her Braid actually kill something if she's the embodiment of the Erdtree? Now, next step is writing all the way down to the Finger Runes of Dio. We're going to begin from the Fingerstone Hill side of Grace, and the reason why we're doing this is because there is another little secret hidden here that I might want to spoil, and that is for the Finger Creeper Ashes. You see these fingers here? And they're always kind of like annoying. Well, you could summon a tiny one of that, and that tiny one would actually continuously heal you as it does damage. Now, do not get cut by the hands. We're following the road. You're gonna get to this area where there's like quite some fog, right? And it's plenty annoying. You're gonna have to turn to the left and find this lone finger creeper sitting on the finger. Now, map-wise, that would be the long boy and this tiny bent one next to the furrow in the earth. So here we're going to mark this. That's where it is. If you find this lone finger creeper, there is a hole in the ground right next to him. Jumpy bumpy down to this, and you'll be getting a very interesting boss fight that gives you the finger creeper ashes. I'm not going to say more. You're going to probably get the shock of your life. And now you'll find the Finger Runes of Dio, which you'll ride all the way down to the middle, where all the fingers are converging. This is where Mature wants you to go, and then blow into a finger. Yeah, simple as cake, chat. We could do that. This essentially then activates the second part of the quest. And yep, keep out. Like they have weird ass gravity sorcery. I mean, these kind of like whatever they are kind of off-puttingly annoying. I've been getting hit so much by the gravity sorcery. I lost my composure at some point, but literally fuming out of my mouth, right? Yelling, how is this possible? I guess it would be easier to kill that one guy. But as you get to that finger dangling down, you just walk up to it, and with a quest item, you can blow into it. And then you're essentially just simply teleporting back to our friend at the cathedral, and you get the Incantation Talisman. Now, I'm only 11 hours into the DLC, and I pretty much assume there will be even more talismans to discover. If you found some, drop it in the comments below. We'll definitely have an updated video with even more for you. And if you want to find 5 amazing items, plus one of the best summons to actually tank bosses, there's the video for you. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.